I've been running a software development agency for the past about 4.5 years, and my first ever deal I signed for a couple thousand USD. But before that, I did lots of freelance work for like a couple $100. Over the past, 1-2 years, I started reaching deals that were worth six figures in client value. And this proposal template right here is one of the things that really helped me essentially 10x my client value. I made a video a couple weeks back about basically how this proposal helped me get here and so forth. And I said I was going to share a proposal template. So this is actually that proposal template finally being shared, because I wanted to actually make a shareable link. So it's going to be in the description for anybody who wants it. And this is specifically for software development agencies. I'm going to start off by just saying, so I've got basically a version that I cleaned up, which is one from my company, and then another, which is a clean version for you to actually copy. And I'm going to leave a Figma links for you to just grab this. I like doing my proposals on Figma. I think you can make them just look a lot nicer, and I think that makes a difference. I found some presentation template on Figma, and then I modified it myself. I modified it quite a bit, but yeah, it's not impossible to find other nice templates like this. So you can grab this one, or you can just find something by yourself. Before I get any further into it as well, I want to just point out the reason this proposal has helped me a lot is in part because of, what the proposal does to my sales process. When I'm taking a client through this proposal is going to be what they see after like 2 or 3 calls together, not the first call. And actually, you'll see here in the pricing, I have a Notion brief link. This proposal is basically after we discuss what's needed, I will go out and I will scope the project, and I will put that on Notion. Usually you can use whatever you want, but that is the technical requirements. The proposal is a different document entirely. The whole point of the proposal is to help you understand, out of all the humans on the planet who can complete your spec sheet, your requirement sheet, which we did together, why me? Clients fundamentally do not care about what technology you're using under the hood to implement your services. They care about results. And so the proposal is focused on why you. It's not focused on what you're going to be doing in terms of the actual groundwork for the code. That's what a lot of development agencies end up doing right now, is they pitch this like the whole journey. They don't pitch anything about the benefits, about the destination. Okay, let's get into it. So this is a deck that I grabbed for MVP development of a mobile app. Usually I fly through the early couple slides. They're not massively important. I'm not going to explain the table of contents. I'll flash the kind of logos that we've worked with, and this is a little bit out of date, but it's got some clients that we've had before. I'll do a quick flash of some mock-ups of stuff that we've built. I'll put a testimonial up, and then I will mention a couple case studies. This far into the pitch, I've spent maybe 30 seconds. I'll say hello, I'll introduce myself. I'll say, we built some nice things. They're important just to show that you have some experience. If you do not have these, I would suggest that at the very least, you have personal projects that you can put here. If you don't even have one personal project or two, or I think really 3, but if you don't have anything to put on here, then I suggest you start building stuff by yourself before you try to find a client. At least that's what I would do, because it's so easy to build personal projects. I think it's very hard to justify to a client why you've built nothing at all. Anyway, I stack a little bit of proof. I have a lot more testimonials. So usually on this slide, I'll be we've had some people say some very nice things. I also have plenty of other testimonials. There's more on the website. I can send you video testimonials, written ones, whatever you want. In terms of case studies, so in this particular case, I decided to mention 2 mobile apps and 1 complete rehaul that we did for TKS. And so each of these, I will briefly mention what the project was about. So for this app, the team came to us with some designs. We've rebuilt their entire front end and integrated with their back end. For this app, we did it end to end from scratch. For this app, we built out the maps feature, and then we helped them rehaul the entire platform. So when I go on these case studies, I don't go in depth telling them about the case study. I say, hey, we built, this mobile application was with React Native and all that. If you want to learn more, let me know. I can dive into it, but I'm just going to gloss over this for now. That's literally what I say every single time. This is kind of how the first bit of the conversation goes. And then I will get to this slide. And this is the first slide where I actually pause and spend some time. I basically explain one key idea through this whole proposal. And I think this is a useful idea if you want to grab it, steal it. At the end of the day, I am not the only human on earth who can program this application, right? That would be foolish of me to say. What ultimately makes a difference in any engagement that you get into, and this is me speaking to the client, right? What are the values that we work with? Are we going to see eye to eye during our engagement and so forth? The mentality that I approach basically every single project with is be short, be simple, and no bullshit. And I like to double tap onto this last one. And then I go up onto the next slide. Unfortunately, most development agencies promise the world and don't deliver. This is very true. If you are one of these agencies that is promising a lot, not delivering, please stop. It gives us a bad reputation and generally makes nobody happy. And there are so many stories of clients who've come to me out of bad engagements with other agencies. And so then I double tap on this no bullshit value. My belief is that if I am a no bullshit person, actions are louder than words. Everybody in our company works with this philosophy. We value no bullshit, high trust relationships. We take responsibility, and actions speak louder than words. And so, as a result, We also have a satisfaction guarantee. We put our money where our mouth is. We're confident in our work. If at the end of the first month you don't like working together, get 100% of your money back, right? And so this is just a standard guarantee that we apply on our projects. And this is us trying to put actions louder than words. And then I tell them a little bit about our philosophy when it comes to developing projects, especially like when you're talking about MVPs. It's really important that basically we're able to ship a usable experience, no matter how basic, as soon as possible. So for example, you just want a vehicle that gets you from point A to point B. It doesn't matter if it's a skateboard or a bike or a car, but we want to just test that user interaction as much as possible. And so we're going to make an effort to ship you a demo as soon as humanly possible so that you can try it out and then refine the user experience based on that. This is our philosophy versus some people who sometimes build kind of like one piece and then the other piece and then the other piece. And then at the very end of the project, they slap it all together and they're like, there you go. And these projects tend to have a lot of issues. In fact, right now, one of our clients came to us out of a horror story with another dev shop. They're still working with this other dev shop because the engagement had some lock-in, and they just hate it so much because they've done a horrible job and they didn't manage to test the application until the very end. And so that was a kind of big problem. And then I talk about communication. So communication is really important. The biggest thing that most development agencies fail at is communicating regularly. And I have been on the hiring side, and I really dislike it when I have to chase people up. And I tell this to the client while I'm pitching them. It's like, I've been where you are. I've hired other developers, agencies, both things. And so I really hate it when they don't communicate. So I make an effort to do that proactively. We try to over communicate as much as possible. We have a Notion HQ where we are going to put weekly wrap ups, which is a Loom video where I will talk about the project. I will also write it in the Notion page. Guess what? Most clients don't even watch that Loom video. And I don't care. I'm still going to put it there because it's about the principle of over communicating. It's not about whether they watch it or not. It's just about making sure that it is there and that the client knows that it's there. It provides a certain psychological safety. I don't know. Like every single client has generally, I think, appreciated this so far, even if they don't actually watch them. Weekly reviews, and this is the thing that I put into the Notion HQ alongside other documents. Anything related to the project goes into that Notion page, and then check-in calls as well. So like a weekly slot, maybe bi-weekly, depends. A budget and guarantee, and then I repeat the satisfaction guarantee. I name a couple benefits that might be relevant to them. One important one is I don't try to get people to commit to like a 9-month contract or 6-month contract, like no backing out. I very simply say like pause or cancel anytime. Satisfaction guarantee, fixed rates, your currency, I'll charge you in whatever domestic currency. Typically I work with clients from either the US, Europe, or UK. So generally it's taking major currencies, maybe Canadian as well. So that's like, it's not a massive thing, just a couple things. And then I have my pricing packages. Now in this particular presentation, I deleted the other 2 slides, but usually I will have 3 packaging options. And when I'm talking about packaging options, I'm talking basically about different deals that they can do. And I will play around with the time to deliver, the seniority of developers, and different levers to create 3 different deals that they could do. Usually, most of the time, they will pick one of the 3 options. And also most of the time, I will try and make the middle one the better deal. I will offer a super premium package, like everything ultimate, fastest, the best we can do, like add all the extra benefits, throw in all the stuff, because there is like a small percentage of customers who just want to pay that highest tier. And I've had this happen like once or twice. It's rare, but it's always a nice surprise. The middle one is the one where I want them to purchase. Like it's the one that usually I think makes the most sense for them. And then the bottom one I basically make in case the middle one is too expensive. What is the lowest that we're willing to go and on what conditions, like what scope, what timeline, etc. Also, like sometimes I'll add a custom discount. I don't know, you could say like New Year discount or whatever. You can play around with this. I haven't felt that it made a massive difference most of the time, but I added it in here into the template in case you want to, play around with it. But you can basically use this to be like, oh, if you start before the end of the month, we'll give you a 10% discount. And then clients are like, oh, okay. You add some pressure. Depends though, with development projects, they're higher tickets, so I don't know if it's going to make a huge difference. And then I put my weekly billing and my monthly billing. Now, weekly billing is not something that most clients go for. However, I came up with it because I operated a lot with startups, and this is not like enterprise sales, right? This is selling to very small teams or sometimes solo founders, co-founders, whatever. And for these kinds of arrangements, sometimes people prefer more flexibility. It's rare, but I've had it once or twice. And so I came up with this option to do weekly billing when people are uncertain and they want to keep things super, super flexible and they don't want to affect their cash flow as much, right? Like they don't want to pay as much up front. What this then creates is an opportunity to
have a monthly option with a slight discount, which encourages upfront payment. And so this is usually how I present it to clients, is I will say, like, we can do a weekly billing option. So it's less cash out of pocket right away, but it's over time, it's going to be more. And then I put a pretty decent discount on the monthly option because I value that ability to collect more cash. And so I will put a good price on that. By the way, I calculate this by multiplying the hourly value by 172, which is the average hours, working hours in a month, basically. I don't multiply it by like 4 weeks or whatever. I just do 172 hours a month. That's my like math. And then I put it times 0.85 to take off 15%. And then that's how we get this number. The thing is like 8772. So I round down usually. I round down to the nearest zero. And then I also tell them, like, if development takes more than 10 weeks, for example, right? This particular timeline is 10 weeks. And the brief isn't changed, we're going to continue for free until week 15 because that's on us. Most of the time, actually, my guarantee here is we're going to continue development for free. Just not even until I just like say we will 100% complete this with closed scope if you don't change anything. This is the part where, like, I think very rarely has this failed. There was only one time. There was one project which I took on with background Bluetooth operations, which is troublesome. And we ended up returning a lot of that cash, actually. But oftentimes when projects go further than the timeline, it's usually because there was some kind of scope extension or scope changes. And since this says here, the brief must not be changed, like when they extend scope, I'll just be, okay, sure, it's going to be another, I don't know, let's say another month of development. They're just going to continue on this payment option, usually. Unless it's like a different arrangement where they need an extra developer or they don't or whatever it is. And then nice little closing out slide deck. That's it. So I made a kind of neutral color option, and I just replaced the logo with some placeholders which I designed, and you guys can play around with this and fill your own stuff out. In the community version, I removed my mockups as well. You guys need to put your own mockups. By the way, for mockups, this mockup plugin right here, super, super useful. I've made a lot of mockups with these guys. There are other solutions out there, but this one, you can find a lot of stuff for free. It's super useful. I've used it a lot of times. I'm not affiliated, not sponsored or anything like that. Free only. So you can start by looking for free mockups, and you can find like, I don't know, let's say desktop or stuff like that. Also, their paid option, I think it's like 10 or 20 bucks, and it's actually quite worth it. There's a lot of different mockups. But yeah, if you have applications you've built, if you put them in a nice mockup, I think that just upgrades your pitch a little bit. I think it's worth doing. And then you can fill out your own values. And I would suggest for you to change all this presentation copy. Like, I think make it yours, make it original. I think there's value in that. But anyway, it's up to you. It is public on Figma.
All right, so that is it for this little template video. I found that when I came to a sales pitch with a proper presentation that was well thought out and well structured and so forth, it really helped me in my negotiation with the clients. Like, I think I was taken just that little bit more seriously. That gave me that ability to have more confidence when I was making that sale. And that, I think, really helped me. Now, the 6-figure projects are almost never upfront. Like, they build to 6 figures over time through scope extensions and project additions. I think these kinds of presentations can certainly help you at least double or triple your pricing in the short term, depending obviously what you're charging right now. Thank you for watching this. I hope this is useful. I apologize to everybody who had to wait weeks and weeks to get this template proposal, but it's finally out, and enjoy. Let me know if you have any other questions in the comments, and have a great day wherever you're watching this from. Good luck. Actually, one more thing before I finish. I've been working on a new community for development agency owners. I'm not 100% sure actually if I'm going to launch the day that this video goes live or shortly after, but I'm going to leave more information about this in the description of this video if you're curious about that. It's something that I used to run. I used to do a little bit of coaching. I'm certainly still very much full-time on the agency first, but I really enjoyed some community meetups that I did recently. Like, I did some subscriber meetups and they were super, super nice. And so I'd actually like to make a little bit of an effort to maintain more touch with the community. So I'll be launching that. And yeah, if you're curious, feel free to check it out.